Hey, Shalom, Yeshua. I'm going to start off schools by giving no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, God, Kadash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS and honesty, brothers in the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Right? It says two articles. Basically, look, man, if you're in the truth, mate, make sure you got a little spare, food or whatever, if you know if you can. Obviously we know that's not going to save us, but to use the analogy the apostle Tahar said, if you know there's a snowstorm coming and you ain't going to be able to go to the shops for a while, wouldn't you get extra bit of food? Right, you would. Right now, that's the situation that we're in, right? And with this whole Brexit thing here in the UK, right, where we're basically seeing everything being set up, the stage being set up so that there is no food in the UK, right? So this famine is being engineered, right? From one, you've got this first, the pestilence that's going on around the world at the moment, right? But then you've got Brexit to compound that, which, as it's not doctrine, but that's what me personally, I'm like, that is proof that both of these things were engineered, right, by the elites, okay? Because why is it that for all of these years that Brexit got delayed, why did it have to be finalized now, right? If you were any sane individual, you would have said, look, EU, there's a slight major a global thing happening at the moment. Let's finish this when that's been dealt with, right? But these aren't sane people. This is the wicked that you're dealing with, right? And everything that we see around us is an illusion, right? So we'll get into it. This is in from the Independent: food exporters strangled by red tape as Brexit disrupts trucks and risk end for this hit for what do you call it? Pestilence hit seafood firms, right? So you have these seafood firms already struggling from the current pestilence, right? And then Brexit's just gonna compound that, right? So then what do you get? You get a domino effect, because them people, they won't be able to pay their staff. Okay, cool. Then their staff may not be able to pay their rent and their mortgages. So then they're defaulting on their home, right? And then when a whole load of people start defaulting on mortgage payment, guess what? That then affects the banks. Okay, so there's a whole domino effect that Esau's basically setting up at the moment. And what's the end goal? Right, that universal basic income, which, what do you call it, will eventually, either be first given with the mark of the beast, or at the end, or later on given with the mark of the beast, because that is Esau's end goal, that mark of the beast, right, that new money system. And you got another article, this time from Euronews, says post-Brexit trade, fish prices collapsing in Scotland as red tape hits UK export to EU. Right, and hey, good on them, because look at that. You ain't supposed to be eating that. Right, that's in the law. I mean, I was looking, I was like, what the hell is that? Is that scorpions, man? Right? But hey, you ain't supposed to be eating that. So really, a good on you, right? And one fish exporter said on Monday that prices were collapsing in the Scottish port of Peterhead amid reports that seafood prices fell by as much as 80% due to export blockages. Look, man, when your trade, when your product falls by 20%, you're hurt. You're like, oh man, what I'm gonna do? We might have to cut a few jobs. But read prices fell by as much as 80%. Okay, so this is just fish, and this is gonna keep growing and keep growing until eventually we've got a straight out famine. Now we might tell people, look, man, the famine's coming, the famine's coming, the famine's coming, right? But because the shops are still packed at the moment, people are like, nah, it's not gonna come. Well, in fact, let me grab that one first. That's in Second Ezra 16 as well. It's luck, yeah. Load it up. Load it up. What was in there? No, it's just further down here. So actually, I'll start Second Ezra 16:18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand and fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right, because when you read the account Matthew 24:6, in fact, let me grab that now since I'm quoting it. This is what the scripture says, Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, right? And pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right? And the reason why I wanted to get this out now is because for that point in verse 8, these are the beginning of sorrows. That's what we just read there also. Right? This is the beginning. The Lord, we're seeing what's getting ready to happen, right? We've been seeing the rumors of war, right? And obviously we're living through a pestilence at the moment, and we believe the Lord is going to send more, right? Whether He puts a spirit on Esau to bring out a new completely new pestilence or a new variant of the current pestilence, right? We don't know, right? Or whether the Most High is going to send something, right? We don't know how it's going to happen, but we believe that there is going to be more pestilences, right? Earthquakes in diverse places. We were speaking at the camp the other day. Even England had an earthquake a couple of years ago, right? Last year or the year before, something ridiculous like that. Okay, but the point I wanted there was all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? And these famines are coming, man, right? You're seeing all of these articles, right? These famines are coming. I just shared an article now of Akim, where basically you had a French minister saying, "Look, man, anywhere where there's that new variant, close the border." And he said, namely UK and Ireland. All right, so they said close that border. Okay, so when you can't get goods in, what's gonna happen? Shelves are gonna go empty. Fresh produce is gonna go empty. Okay, and that's what people have become used to, being able to go in and get a bloody avocado. Avocados don't go grow in the UK, man. Yeah, not hating on the avocado. I know brothers love avocados, but avocados don't grow in the UK. Why are you able to get avocados in the UK? Why are you able to get bananas in the UK all year round? Okay, apples grow here, man, and pears. I'm not hating on the fruit, but it's just to show you the things that Esau's basically got people used to, and he's gonna take all of that away, which is why they're gonna accept anything that this man offers them. Okay, so, so I'll read that again. Second Ezra 16:18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? We go and trust in the Lord. That's what we're going to do. Right? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for a man. So famine and plague, that's two things that are happening at the moment. Tribulation and anguish, look, this word here. I'll put that because this is the apocrypha, so there's no etymology. No etymology. There's no Strong's Concordance. The futuristic view. Let's give me the is it tribulation, distress or suffering resulting from oppression or persecution. Right? Isn't that what people are feeling at the moment? Distress or suffering resulting from oppression or persecution. People can't leave their homes. People are legit. The whole world is under house arrest, basically. Okay, tribulation and anguish, right? So we're seeing all of these things, right? But why? They're sent as scourges for amendment, right? The Lord shut down all of those clubs, shut down all of those bars, because ultimately, what was going on at all of those clubs? Let's just be real, right? Nothing but wicked, adultery, man, right? Now the bars, know, brothers go bars, this, that, and the other. But we can't, lie. When we were there, we would see the adultery before your eyes. You would see the whoredom. So ultimately, yeah, man, that those places can all be destroyed, man. Right? So they're sent as scourges for a man. All these things are closing. All these people are losing their jobs. Why? Because what? Because of pride. Scripture says, because of pride, the city shall be troubled. Right? Oh, I got this job. Oh, I got that job. Right? But hey, the Lord is taking all of that away. Why? Because everyone in this kingdom is wicked. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, right? And once again, we're seeing these things, right? People are still proud, right? You're still having these dumb whores, trying to be like, oh, who's the new chick? Oh, Lori Harvey. Yeah, she can be a hoe, and like this all of this nonsense that doesn't matter. A brother shared a video of one of these preppers, man, and he was basically talking about the YouTube algorithm, about how people have all of these nonsense videos on the trending page, and I was like, you got all of this nonsense on the trending, but the world is literally going to shit, right? You didn't say it like that, but that spirit has me feeling that way right now, man. Right here it is, the world is literally going into flames, but people are concerned about folly, man. Right? All these women talking about, oh, a woman should be able to look. In that day, you're gonna be begging for a man, right? But that goes into another topic, man. I don't like talking on the woman, man. Right? It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, right? Nor be always mindful of the scourges, right? Let's look this in the dictionary as well. Mindful. It's not that what it means. Mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, right? So mindfulness is the mindful meaning of mindful, to be mindful, bearing in mind, aware, right? This is nor be always aware of the scourges. So we're telling these people this is the destruction from the Most High. But guess what? They ain't caring. They ain't listening. Right. Second Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals, right, shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right. So these victuals, these are the things that people buy. And once again, right now, prices are creeping up, but may have gone from like 20p a banana to 22p a banana. You might be like, oh yes, it's 2p more expensive, but yeah, whatever it is, okay, right? But what what is coming, right, is it will go from 20p a banana to £20 a banana, right? Think Weimar Republic, think Zimbabwe, think Venezuela. Those are the things that are coming to this place. Why? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? So that people get right. But guess what? They ain't gonna turn from their wickedness, right? So what do scriptures say about when you've got an unruly child? After a while, you just beat him. No. So you got an unruly child. After a while, you take him to the judges and you stone that child, man. That's it. So I said the Lord is he sent out his prophets. He's left the examples in the scriptures of what happens when you live an ungodly life. But guess what? People have said, nah. So guess what? That was the scripture says in 2nd Ezra 8:55 onwards, and also 2nd Ezra 9, right? That knowing they must die. Because they've had the warning now, right? They haven't got a cloak for their sin anymore. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, so many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. That's a horrible way to die. Let me see if I've got that actually loaded up. No, I haven't. We've read this one, so I'll load it up here. It's a lamentation. So Lamentation 4 and 9 says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Right, so to be killed is better than to die of hunger. Because look, when you die of hunger, that's a slow, painful death. The road shows you that. Because your body literally eats itself away. That's what it goes on to say, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Let's look up this word pine. Gosh, it should discharge, to die, pine away, to flow. Okay. To waste away. That's it. That's the one we want there to waste away, right? And that's literally what happens, right? When you're dying of hunger, what happens? First, your body will eat the flesh, the fat in your body, right? Then we'll eat the non-vital muscles, right? Then we'll eat the non-vital organs. Then it will eat the vital organs till eventually there's nothing left but your brain, right? And at which point, so that's what Scripture says: they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Okay, but guess what the Scripture says? For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So a lot of people are gonna die from hunger, man. And this is exactly what we're seeing being prepared by Yahweh Shem Shai. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. Yeah, right now, if you used to walk through Oxford Street, see a dead body, there's gonna be like 20, 30 police cars that are gonna come up, close the road, everything, put the tent up, forensics. In those days, ain't gonna be none of that, man. Ain't gonna be none of that, because you know what? You out there trying to do a burial, you might become food along with the person you just buried. Then there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Right? This is Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force, and appears the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Right, so when you see a famine, like the famine in Ethiopia years ago, right, that was a scourge for amendment, right? When you saw the bushfires of Australia last year, beginning of end of 2018, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, that was scourges as amendment. When you saw the hail also in Australia, the hail, right? That was of the Most High, right? These were created for vengeance, right? And famine also, as it will come in its fullness. That's for vengeance rather. It's a Sirach 40:9. Death, bloodshed, strife, and sword and calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood, right? So once again, these things are created for the wicked, and this makes me think of the very exhorting video that the elder did, right? Where basically he was going on, hey, look, fear not the destruction, because the destruction is for the wicked. It's not for us, right? So all this death, all this bloodshed, all these killings, all these calamities, all these famines, right, and tribulation, right? Those are created for the wicked, not for us. Lords will be those men. Those things are for the wicked, right? Because in contrast, in terms of the famine, you read Isaiah 65:13. Scripture says, "My servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." Zechariah 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and the great tribulation. So all of this friendly neighbor stuff that you see happening, that's not gonna be the case, right? There is going to be no pity upon a man's neighbor, a man's friend. You might see someone like, look, man, you need all that bread, man. You need all that food. I got kids, man, right? So, but shall destroy their house with the sword. So basically, people go and start killing each other for their food, man, right? Because of the lack of bread. And these people, man, they can't go a few hours without eating. So imagine a few days how wild they become, to quote the Joker. Right, these civilized people, right, when the chips are down, they'll eat each other. And that's coming. Right, you've got the example in Second Kings, I believe. Right? But yeah, I believe the point's been made, man. Yeah, man. Hey, the famine's coming, but we gonna be alright. These things are created for the wicked. Okay. So those all those edifying. Till next time, I'm gonna say, Shalom.